If you've been on this channel before, you'll know that when I'm out doing cityscapes and architecture and street photography, I tend to gravitate towards wider angle lenses, almost exclusively really. So I thought it would be a fun challenge today to come up with only longer lenses. I have two lenses with me. I have the Lumix Leica 25-50 f1.7, which is delightful, and I also have the 35-100 f2.8, which is much more zoomed and a little bit more tricky perhaps in these circumstances, but I'm excited to see what results I can get. It's not something I'm very experienced in, so it really is an experimental sort of day, but I think experimenting with photography is really important, and hopefully I'll get some cool results. I think my channel's been a lot of GH6 this and S5 that recently, so I'm taking my old faithful out, my GH5, for some street photography. I'm going to shoot on my GoPro as well for a little bit of POV, and yeah, let's see what I can come up with. Titanic in the window, that's so weird. So what are the pros and cons of using longer lenses for this style of photography? Well, the cons being, if you happen upon something in front of you that's really cool, you may be too close to the subject to instantly capture it. So with a wider angle lens, it's a lot more fluid in that sense. But I think the benefit of using a longer lens is you do get the compression with the focal length. So you can get some really interesting separation from the background with your subject, and you can also isolate your subjects a lot better as well. I think it's about finding minute details more than the whole scene with the longer lenses. What are you thinking? 50 or 25? 25. 25, okay. I'll trust you. Oh, that's actually really cute. Just need to get a little bit further back. I really need to go through the wall. That's really sweet. Donuts. And you just want to put donuts next to the Labour building. Donuts. Get the donuts. So what are these longer focal lengths less good for when it comes to street photography? I think the 25-50 is very good for people, but anything longer than that, so the 35-100 for instance, which is 70-200 in full frame terms, and I feel we go into the realms of like paparazzi rather than capturing an authentic moment. I feel like to authentically catch people in a street photography setting, 35mm, 50mm is probably the sweet spot in full frame terms. But I do think the longer focal length is ideal for framing your shot and architecture. Thanks so much to MPB for sponsoring this video. As you know, I love this platform. If you don't know who MPB are, they are the world's largest online platform to sell, trade and buy your used photography and videography equipment. I've used them in the past and I used them again last month. I let go of my beautiful original Mavic Pro Mavis, and I also sold my Xeon Weebill S, and I'm putting the proceeds towards a new drone, the Mini 3. You know, the cute little tiny one, it's only 250 grams. It looks so cool. Another great feature that they do have, which is really helpful for me, is if you are a bargain hunter and you are looking for a specific piece of gear like I am, then you can go onto the website and check the stock. If they have it in stock, go wild. If it's something that's very sought after, like this brand new drone, you can actually sign up to email alerts. So I got an email just a few days ago saying they had one in stock, used like new for £700, and I'm like, amazing. So there's always amazing opportunities to buy really good quality used goods, and every purchase comes with a 6-month warranty. Selling was dead easy. You can just go on to the website, type in what you want to sell, type in the condition, and you'll get an instant quote. So I did that with my Mavic and my gimbal, and then the very next day, someone knocked on my door to pick them up. I just had to put them in a box, put on sort of my MPB number, and then sent it off. It's free shipping and it comes straight to your door. And then you kept in the loop with email updates throughout the process, and then within a week I had the money in my bank. It could not have been easier. So if you want to save up for something new, want to sell something you don't use as much, definitely check out MPB in the description below. And thanks to them again, once again, for sponsoring this video. So it got a little bit cloudier later on, and I swapped the GH6 and the Lumix 35-100, which is even more zoom than I had in the morning. While I was taking the photos, I thought the sunny morning would be a write-off basically, and the cloudy afternoon would be a much better bet. But I'm surprised to say that I think the sunnier, harsher photos in the morning were probably better to my eye. I think street photography is so good because you can get really good images no matter what the weather. So the whole point of this day was to experiment and try something new. I found that I was taking very similar photos because I was always using wide-angle lenses. And I think it's so important to mix it up sometimes and even limit yourself by only taking out certain pieces of equipment to try and push yourself and your photography. I think brains are very lazy and they'll default back to something that's worked in the past if you don't force something new. So go out with a different lens next time you shoot and see what you can create.